Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome once again. We are the Two World Order. I am Elliot.
Along with Omari.
And today we present you with a review of AEW All Out 2020 that just happened not too long ago as of time of this recording.
And it was a good show. I mean, it's still a show we have to pay for like a full amount. There's no AEW network. So for what we got, I would say it was a good show. There are a few notes that need to be talked about for this show, and there were some interesting moments that kind of take you out of things. For one, the commentary, which started in the pre-show. I don't know what Tony was sipping on, but I want some, because, he was rough tonight.
Clearly he got into the mimosas a little bit earlier than everybody else.
It wasn't, he just took the bubbly and just ran with it. Him, JR, I mean, there were just so many, I can't even comment on it. JR called Stu Grayson Dick Grayson. That's the main one I can remember, but it was just bad. Excalibur deserves a medal for carrying this commentary tonight.
Yeah, and they brought him down a little bit. There was a lot of just stuttering, and it was like listening to one of our reviews.
Basically, it was weird. It was terrible. But
so
just covering with that.
Yeah,
the show started off pretty well.
It did. We don't care about the pre-show, so we didn't watch it. We watched it, but don't care about it, so we won't be talking about that. So we started off with a cinematic match with Big Swole going against a returning Britt Baker with Reba/Rebel in her corner. But this was a cinematic match, a tooth and nail match, whatever the hell that means.
Basically, it was just in a dentist's office. We don't know whose dentist's office this was or used to be. It was just a random dentist's office that got messed up for the show, but it was great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of teeth in Jacksonville, so I refuse to believe this dentist office exists.
I mean, even the parking lot looked empty. I don't think it was a abandoned strip mall where I think it was just a random building. They just put dentist stuff
They probably shot it in Gateway somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, the main notes from this match is Reba, Rebel, whatever they're calling her, she was the MVP of this whole thing.
Yeah, she starts out as sitting at the desk as being the receptionist.
She made her sign in.
Right, and Swole shows up as Swole, and is just what did she say? She was looking for Britt and was come out Basuda Baker or something.
She's been calling her Basuda Baker for a while, and then Britt Baker, Swole's walking around looking for her, and Britt just shows up around the corner like a horror movie villain with her mask still on, with the dramatic music, and just attacks her out of nowhere.
And there was a lot of smashing of plaques and whatnot, the random stuff that hangs around the dentist's office.
Yeah, they went outside. Rebel got thrown into a trash or a dumpster. At one point, Britt tried to drill Swole's teeth with an actual drill.
Yeah, she was willing to commit murder, so she's definitely a wrestler.
Yeah.
And Reba shows back up with the comedy banana peel on her forehead after getting dumped in the dumpster,
Yeah.
Real highbrow stuff.
Yeah, and the whole thing ends with a random can of nitrous being used to just put Britt asleep for a good 30 seconds, and then she wakes back up. So probably not a good dentist office to go to.
Yeah, because if I'm waking up 30 seconds after you gas me, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, of the cinematic matches that have been in 2020, this is one of the higher ones. I expected Britt to win, but still entertaining overall.
Yeah, good start to the show. And then we move on to the first of what I like to call one of the unnecessary or the trim the fat matches that were on this show. We had the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jacksonville. Matt, Nick Jackson, I'm sorry.
Terrible.
Yeah, going against Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. Marco Stunt was injured for something. I'm not sure if that was just a real life thing or if he's selling some kind of injury.
I'm seeing him. He's been with the crutches for a while, but he did his job. He gets hit and takes bumps, and damn it, does he do it well.
Right. So the story of this match was Lil Young Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Shout out to JR. Pretty much getting dominated a lot of the match, and it was one of those I'm gonna show my heart matches. He got kicked and killed a bunch.
Luchasaurus jumped off a bunch of things. I mean, it was a typical Young Bucks tag team match in AEW. My big thing coming out of this is I think they're gonna try and make a new Bullet Club or something similar.
Yeah, because
based on other things that happen later on in the night.
Slight spoilers, everybody in the Elite seems to be becoming an asshole, so
I'm all for it.
Yeah, they're probably all better as heels anyway. Those sideburns on the Bucks scream heel.
Yeah. Luchasaurus jumped off the top rope and dove and killed everyone on the side of the ring in the crowd. And Young Bucks did a lot of kicking and basically, they won the match. It was a good match. It was about what you expect, but I mean, nothing to really write home about. I think it was more of a story and angle match than anything else.
Yeah, it could have been on Dynamite because there was a lot. Like I said, there was a lot that needed to be trimmed off this show, and that was definitely one of them. So that was a match that happened. Yay.
Yeah.
Next match, we had the 21-man Casino Battle Royale with Cheese.
Oh God, this match.
The winner of the match gets a future AEW World Championship match for whoever's the champion at the end of the show. We'll get to that. Basically, it was a Royal Rumble match. You've seen the Battle Royale match. You know what the hell is happening. So, the undercard was in it. I'm not going to go through everybody because honestly, this pretty much who
it was
a
lot of tag teams.
Yeah, a lot of tag teams, SCU, etc., etc. So, and the big thing was number 21 in the match was a surprise entrant,
as it's been the last couple times, and when they have these big multi-man matches.
And number 21 is, I guess, the newest signee of AEW, assumably, Mr. Matt Sydal, who
the former Evan Bourne.
Who is the
WWE.
former, if you've ever seen the clip of somebody doing the shooting star press off the top rope and getting RKO, that was him that got RKO. That's pretty much what he's best known for.
Yeah, I'm not including the clip because it's late and I don't feel like it, but Google it.
and
honestly, what you're going to want to see, if you want to see this man, so basically, the shooting star press is his thing. That's what he does. He's very athletic. I haven't seen him since he's been out of WWE, but I mean, honestly, he's fine. He's a good wrestler. He comes out, obviously the last person in the match, it wasn't announced. It's a big pomp and circumstance thing. He comes in, Shawn Spears is already on the outside, not wrestling because he wants to wait to get in. He hits Shawn Spears, goes up on the top rope to do this big shooting star press, and immediately slips and eats all of the shit.
I thought his neck was broken. And yeah, he was kind of out of it.
My note for this was literally just that botch. That's the only... There are two things we're talking about in this match, and that was one of them. The other thing is Darby Allin just refusing to be safe whatsoever, which is just the theme of this show. We feel like old people, concerned about people's health, but good God, is everyone trying to hurt themselves?
Yeah, I'm tired of watching these shows and cringing every 30 seconds. So what Darby Allin's thing was, he's of course feuding with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, and at one point, because I guess it's in Darby's contract, just thumbtacks are out.
First, they pull out a body bag.
Cage pulls out a body bag
from under the ring, as you do.
Shout out to Taz on commentary, by the way. Just pull out a body bag. Super New Yorkian and whatnot, and then
Red Hook section.
Brian or Cage stuffs him into the body bag.
Well, he puts the thumbtacks in the body bag. Then they throw Darby Allin in it, zip him up, and then Brian Cage literally throws this man out of the ring onto the entranceway, and I'm pretty sure he hit the steps too.
Yeah, he threw him onto the steps, and there was no way he was protecting himself. So he just got a broken spine and thumbtacks. And then what makes it worse is that, of course, he didn't get all the thumbtacks into the bag when he poured them in there.
There's just half the ring just has thumbtacks just hanging out in it.
And everybody else that's still in the match, because this is not the ending of the match. This is
there's still a good 5 or 6 people left in it.
So everyone's trying to avoid the thumbtacks as they're getting slammed and shit, and it's just pretty hilarious to watch everybody just be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, the rest of the match is pretty inconsequential. It comes down to Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer. And they're on the outside of the ring wrestling, and Jake Roberts is standing there like an awkward old man with his bag that may or may not have a snake in it. You never see it. That he's trying to scare Eddie Kingston with, but it just looks really awkward, and nothing comes of it. And Lance Archer just throws him off, and Lance Archer wins.
So Lance Archer is the number one contender for the AEW Championship in the future. Who knows when? They, of course, haven't announced when the match will happen.
It'll probably just be a random Dynamite, or they might save it, but I doubt it. They usually just, fast forward these matches.
Right. Speaking of something you might want to fast forward, Jesus Christ, this next match.
Good God.
So, we have the Rubber Grudge match, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a quote-unquote broken rules match.
It's basically a last man standing, is what they said on commentary. I guess WWE owns the rights to last man standing, or they just want their own branding in AEW. But Jesus.
So the soft stipulation going into the match was that if Hardy lost, he would leave AEW, which kind of played into the finish in a very, very unfortunate way.
Yeah, this one, I get the whole show must go on thing, and wrestlers are insane people that don't like to just... So basically, here's what happened. So the match starts. So Daly's Place and the Jaguar Stadium are like basically right next to each other. So the match starts on the outside of the field, and Sammy drives up on a golf cart like as a callback to the last couple times that they've wrestled. They end up brawling in like the concession area, and they go on like those little scaffold like high-rise things, and there's these two tables next to it, and they fall off of it as you do in a typical table spot. But the table was too close to the scaffolding, and Matt's head completely smacks the concrete. Like, he is out.
It was instant. You can immediately see it was instant. Commentary, of course, is actually calling attention. It's like, hey, yeah, we need to check on Matt.
Yeah, like, Aubrey throws up the X's immediately.
She threw up the X like 4 times. But Hardy gets back up like before the 10 count. You can tell she's kind of trying to keep him down / in the match.
Right.
But because of the stipulation
like, obviously
was...
Matt was supposed to win this match, so you can't walk him off like that or have him lose it. And you can see, like, Sammy's still trying to sell it a little bit. Matt gets up and, like, tries to, like, he's still in character. Yeah. But he's this like man is falling
Sammy
over himself. Like, he can't stay up.
Yeah.
So they cut back to commentary because they're, like, trying to call this match off. They actually, like, bring out the doctors and do everything. Like, they're trying to call it off. But they don't actually, like, announce a winner or anything. And then they cut back to commentary. Elliot is in the bathroom at this point because this is just kind of funny. They're cutting the commentary just to cut back to Matt Hardy as I'm like yelling at him saying the match is still going. They brought him back in what can only, I'm assuming, is just a really, really rushed spot. So they go and brawl out to the ring into the like entrance area. They get on the scaffolding just to like climb up it and have Sammy fall off and get counted out really quick. So Matt technically doesn't have to leave AEW.
So to recap, they just had this man that clearly has a concussion climb up again onto like a 15-foot scaffolding just to end the match. You could have just had the match be a no contest. People would have understood. Nobody is going to be like, oh, well, shit, he didn't leave because he had a concussion. Like,
I swear, I am honestly surprised that man doesn't have a cracked skull.
His wife is pissed on Twitter. And
it's really, it's an uncomfortable thing. And it kind of like took the air out of the rest of the show.
Yeah, because for the rest of the show, they keep bringing up they brought it up on commentary multiple times in other matches after the show about the doctor like clearing Matt because obviously they knew people were like, what the hell are you doing? Why did they let the match keep going? And every time they kept bringing it up, it just made it sound worse.
They kept like backtracking on the stuff that they were saying. There's no right, like, I get you were backed into a corner kind of sort of, but it was just one of those like, they weren't. That's why I said kind of sort of. It was an awkward thing. Matt won. I hope he's okay. Let's just move the hell on.
Well, in higher notes, moving on to what I personally feel was the match of the night was the Women's Championship match. We have Miss Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa from NWA, who is the NWA Women's Champion, and as they mentioned on commentary, she's already a double champion. She's that and the Tokyo...
Don't ask me something.
I got it.
Okay.
The Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which is the name of the company, International Princess Champion.
Good for you.
I remember.
Look at you. So, for both of us, this was really our first time seeing Thunder Rosa wrestle, and she's really good. I might have to start actually watching NWA now.
Yeah, if you can find it. I don't know what channel it's on. It's on YouTube somewhere.
That's
clips.
Fine. But yeah, she's good.
I am an unapologetic Sheeta fan, but she got her ass whooped.
Yeah,
for the majority of the match.
Like 70-30 in Thunder Rosa's favor here.
Yeah, it got to the point where I was kind of like, because clearly they weren't gonna let somebody from another company win the title. Well, I don't think AEW is that confident yet, and NWA isn't actually like airing right now, so
yeah, hence why Thunder Rosa and Ricky Starks and all these people are here.
So going into it, you knew Rosa wasn't gonna win. So as the match progressed and she was like showing her ass and like beating Sheeta, you was like, okay, this is gonna be kind of bad when Sheeta just kind of
gonna be a John Cena-esque like take all the offense and then win in the last like 30 seconds. But Sheeta got a good amount of offense in. I wouldn't be upset if they like revisited this and did something else with it, but honestly, Sheeta just deserves storylines at this point. Give her something.
Yeah, we all know the women's division is like the weakest part of AEW. overall, but they always show out on pay-per-view as far as like match quality goes, and then they kind of disappear into the background for the weekly shows and then pop up again.
Yeah.
But
just have Britt Baker win the title off her like we know she's going to.
Yeah. But great match. Definitely the highlight of the show for positive reasons.
Yeah. Moving right along, we're going to quickly move past this in a good, 30 seconds here.
Yeah,
if you want to introduce this, what I'm sure was your favorite match going in.
This was another Trim the Fat match. This is there's always one match on pretty much each pay-per-view, WWE or AEW, where it's like a we checked out match, and this was it. This was a 8-man tag match. We had Matt Cardona, the former Zack Ryder in WWE, Scorpio Sky, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall versus the Dark Order, which in this match was Mr. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu/Dick Grayson.
Yeah. So pretty much the whole thing here, there's nothing like the Nightmares and Scorpio and Matt were all just upset after Brody just killed Cody a couple weeks ago. So that's the whole storyline going into this. And the only real talking point of it was Brody just clotheslines the hell out of Goldust or Dustin Rhodes, whatever you want to call him. And then he tags in Colt Cabana, as they've been doing for the longest time, to let him get the win so he can, they can, make him a winner or whatever, as the Dark Order does. And Colt, instead of just taking the easy pin, goes for a moonsault, doesn't hit it. They end up losing the match, and Brody's pissed at him, so I'm pretty sure Colt's going to die in the next couple weeks.
Two things I want to know. One, I noted while we were watching the match is that I noticed that everybody in the Nightmare family rides for Cody. So if some shit happens to Cody, they all just bundle together and it's oh, we got to defend our bro or whatever. Cody don't give a shit. Cody don't. I mean, I know he's involved, but Cody, some shit happens to fucking Dustin or some shit, he's not or Zack Ryder, he's not fucking riding for them.
Yeah, Cody doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about the Elite. Cody cares about Cody.
Right, and also post match. They announced that Dustin will be getting a TNT title shot on Dynamite coming up. I thought it was hilarious because before they announced it, Dustin was going all hard about how Cody was going to come back and get his TNT title back from Brody, and then they told him he had a title shot, and he immediately
just completely
was
180'd.
He was yeah, I get a title shot. Oh, I'm ready. I haven't had goal. He just was fuck it. It's my time now. Yeah. So, Nightmares,
If you rewatch it, you can skip it. It's nothing impressive.
All right, so moving on from that, we have the tag team title match, which was kind of my most anticipated match of the night. We have FTR, Cash, and Dax, whatever.
Follow the rules.
Jack and Dax follow the rules versus Kenny Omega and Adam Page, Hangman Page, if you want to get JR about this. I don't know how I felt about this match. It was kind of slow because that's Fight the Ruskies. That's their style. They like to start off slow and kind of ramp it up. But to me, it felt like it took way too long to get into second gear, because this was the longest match of the night. It was half an hour, 29 minutes 40 seconds.
So they talked a lot about multiple matches having the stylistic clashes, but this one really set the bar for it. And I mean, this was another one of those it was a long, and it was a good match, don't get me wrong, but it was another setup match. Going into it was a whole thing about Hangman possibly teaming up with For the Roscoes and Kenny kind of being a dick too, so you didn't really know what was going to happen. So that was really the whole story of it. And I honestly don't really have a lot of spots to really comment on. It's a typical Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, those type of matches. Honestly, the Young Bucks match had more spots for a tag team match. That's more of the typical AEW tag team match, but FTR, because I can't think of another funny acronym, ended up winning the match with classic old school non-flippy tag team wrestling. And the whole thing with this one was Hangman gets up, he's kind of falling over himself off the ropes. Kenny's standing there, it looks like he's about to hit him. He pulls a tray table out of nowhere, and then he throws it away, and then Hangman's falling, and he falls on his face, and Kenny doesn't catch him or pick him up or anything. He just walks away and literally leaves the building with the Young Bucks and is are y'all coming with me? They don't leave, but he just walks off and just drives away from everybody.
Because once again, the story is everybody in the Elite is kind of becoming dicks.
Yeah, so they might be falling apart. I think it's going to be a new maybe Bullet Club, but they don't own the rights to it, but we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, so like you said, fuck these rubbers are the new AEW Tag Team Champions. We'll see where they go from here. I don't really know who number. I guess Young Bucks is probably the next seed, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the. I
don't know
mean,
who
Young Bucks versus FTR has been the thing for years now, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next one at the pay-per-view. But we'll see when it happens. So next up, we had the most interesting match by far, and that was Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho in a Mimosa Mayhem match, which honestly is just probably what you think it is, where you can win by pinfall, submission, or being thrown into... There were 2 vats of mimosa on the side of the ring.
All that wasted damn orange juice. Quick note, this was one of the... Before the match started, this was one of those times where they were trying to justify the Matt Hardy thing. And they were doing it. Oh, if you watch AEW, you know when Chris Jericho comes out, they pause to let the crowd continue to sing.
Oh yeah.
And this was
just egregious.
And it was like the loudest one I've heard as far as like the crowd singing his theme song. But they were talking over it about the Matt Hardy and the doctor thing, and I was mad. I was like, Skiavone, you're doing it at the wrong time. You're making it worse.
I was mad because, this was a normal, like, Jericho-Cassidy match, like, wherever you have, like, spots where it's kind of like a Royal Rumble spots where, like, people are holding on to the ropes, don't fall, those kind of spots. It wasn't like, it was a typical match when you expect those type of things. The thing that made me upset was Cassidy jumped off the top rope and Jericho either hit him with a code breaker or something to that effect. And they were saying, oh, Cassidy's out. He's knocked out. Just, like, throw him in the thing or pin him. And it's like, you already have had someone who was clearly legitimately, like, fucked up on their head. Say something else. Just come up with a different way of describing it. Don't do that. I know that's a typical thing to do.
Yeah.
But you're talking about, at this point, throwing an unconscious man into a pool of anything to possibly drown.
Yeah, you got to think about the optics. We've become those people that are just sensitive to shit because our backs hurt just watching all these people just take spine busters and melts the drivers and all this other shit to the face, and it's just like, bro, calm down.
We're not meant for this. Like, when I'm all for, like, if you can be safe about it, but... And I mean, I'm sure they were trying to be safe with the Matt Hardy thing, and we're going to keep talking about this because it kind of ruined the whole show for us, but...
Yeah. But anyway, to get it back on track with the Mimosa match, basically it was your standard match. You know, they're doing there was a lot of plunder, people getting hit in the face with glasses and tables and shit. But the finish came Omega.
Damn.
See,
it's been a long time,
late.
People.
Cassidy had Jericho up against the ropes, and he goes for the Superman punch and basically just knocks him in.
Jericho looks like he is just like chilling in a hot tub when he actually falls into the mimosa thing.
Yeah, I'm sure
it'll be gift all over the place.
Right.
Gift meme everywhere, yeah.
It was great. So Orange Cassidy moves on to do bigger and better things. He's got the rubber match 2-1 versus Jericho. So
I hope he just goes back to just not doing anything as per his character. Yes, that's what he should do. Orange Cassidy is great in small doses.
Fair enough. So finally, we go to the AEW Championship match. Mr. Jon Moxley is champ versus MJF, or as I like to call him, Majif. And the stipulation for this match was that Moxley couldn't use the paradigm shift in the match, or he would automatically lose the title, which I thought was weird because Moxley wins without using the paradigm shift.
Like literally the last time he defended the title, he didn't use it. He choked out Brody Lee. So
right, it was weird that they tried to make it seem like he was impossible to just win without it. But anyway, on the way to the ring, because Moxley likes to come in from different spots, he came in from like outside-ish. And
a random fan like kind of jumps out and then gets immediately just yanked up by security.
Yeah,
we're assuming they didn't cut back to it, so we can only assume it's either that or a very strict parent.
Yeah, because Mox turned around and like looked at the kid or whoever it was after he jumped in, like you could tell he wanted the camera to like acknowledge it, but the camera was like, not turning around.
Keep walking.
But yeah, the actual match itself, starts off slow with Majif trying to control the pace and keep John inside the ring, because that's been his whole thing, is that John, you're a garbage wrestler and you can only brawl and et cetera, et cetera. But they do their thing. Eventually, it starts breaking down. Mox ends up busting Majif open somehow. I don't really remember.
He does the backswing thing into the ring post.
Okay.
I said it when we were watching this. Since Cody's not here, someone has to just bleed egregiously on these shows, and Majif has taken up that mantle.
So The Majif was attacking Moxley's arm throughout the match because I think his finish is like the Fujiwara armbar or something.
I mean, yeah, either that or
one of
like the terrible crossroads.
Which was used, unfortunately. They're boxing it on 3 channels now.
Yep.
So the finish comes where Wardlow gets on the ring on the apron to distract the ref and then try to throw in the diamond pinky ring that Majif won a while back in the whatever.
Yeah, he won in the Battle Royal. So he throws it and Majif doesn't catch it immediately, which I don't know if that was intentional or like, I think it was planned.
Everybody can't be The Rock. They can't just be catching shit.
Right, he usually catches it pretty well though, but it slips, so he turns around and then Moxley, they do the whole stare down thing. Moxley hits him with a quick paradigm shift, picks up the win. That's it.
Yes, and then they teased the
impending Lance Archer match because Lance Archer and Jake Roberts were sitting in the crowd watching as the match was going, and they didn't reverse the finish, and that was just the match.
We'll see what happens on Dynamite, but I'm gonna give AEW the benefit of the doubt that they won't just be like, you use this and
it'll be a triple threat. Or like a number 1 contender. I mean, I wouldn't be upset with a triple threat.
I've had enough triple threats.
I mean,
recently.
Not a WWE triple threat.
Yeah, that's true. There is a difference. But overall, I don't know. Like I said, the Matt Hardy thing kind of brought the show down a little bit.
Yeah, in a vacuum, match for match, this was a good show. They don't, like, it's another good AEW show. I think, like, of the tag matches, like, the Young Bucks match was definitely better than the title match. And the women's match was the best overall, but...
Yeah, so if I pick the top 3 match to watch... definitely the women's title match. I'd say the cinematic match, and I guess the title match, the main title match.
Yeah,
Mox and Majif.
Yeah,
but
overall, it was definitely a show of 2 halves.
Yeah, not a bad show. I know we don't really do ratings, but it was pretty good overall. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst show I've seen this year.
Solid B plus.
What is the worst show we've seen this year?
God, I don't want to remember.
Not Payback. Backlash.
Yeah,
Backlash was fucking awful. But anyway, yes, thank you for listening again. That was our review for AEW All Out. Next review,
well, you'll see.
We'll have something coming. It won't be wrestling related.
Yeah, so. Just keep it locked, Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever the hell. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And, we'll catch you next time. Peace.